I'm Coach Mickey, and I'm so glad that you've joined us. And if this is your first time joining us, come on in and make yourself comfortable. And for those of you that join us on a regular basis, we are so glad that you do. And I'm really excited today. And you guys know I'm always excited about my guests, but you guys are going to have so much fun. I've had an opportunity not only to know her as a person and know that she's the real deal with what she does and who she is, but also her products just speak in volumes of what we can do. And I'm going to jump right in because this is not only fun for what we're coming through into the holidays, but any time of the year for anything. And as you guys learn about this, it'll make more sense. So I'm glad to have you. How are you, Beth Hinderaker?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me today.
Well, I am so glad that you're here, and I love your company, Garden Gate Soaps. I love it. I've given them as gifts. I love what you're all about, and I was really, really excited to have you on as a guest because I think your story really needs to be told, and I think it gives people an opportunity to know that there's other choices out there and why when it comes to not only our soaps, but our candles and our lotions. And I know the love and tedious tasks that you go into every single one of your products. So I'm going to let you jump right in and start with your story.
Oh, thank you. Well, my company was really born out of a need. My kids are in their late 20s and their early 30s, but they came out with allergies. And they literally came out sick and with allergies, no matter how healthy I worked with them. So honestly, I should have had stock in Quaker Oats because they would look at a food or they would pick up a product and they'd break out in hives and be just super itchy. So I was forever using my grinder in the kitchen to grind up the oats and throw them in a bathtub as toddlers to try and give them some relief. So before there were green companies out there that could help you have a green home, I had a green home. I had to, I didn't have a choice. And before there were oil companies, I was going to Chinatown and buying oils and jury rigging a diffuser. I was way kind of the original crunchy mom, and but I did it because my kids were miserable, and I learned so much along the way. And lots of moms came to me along the way and said, "What are you doing? Your kids aren't itchy anymore, and would you share that information?" And so I did. And so I have made my family's personal care products for over 30 years now, and never really thought of taking it outside and into a business until I moved from Southern California to Central California just before the pandemic hit. And pandemic, everybody's locked inside. Moms are having to have their kids' school online on Zoom, a lot of tension and anxiety in the household because of that. So I was sending gift baskets back to Southern California to all my girlfriends to cheer them up because I take a nice hot bath every morning with really good homemade product. So I literally, called the boxes, take a bath on Beth, right? So I put together my homemade tea, my soaps, my lotions, and I just sent them and say, hey, take a hot bath, settle back, listen to some great music, and just feel good. Love you, Beth. And it went nuts. And I had no clue that would happen. And so one of my friends challenged me to put a post on Facebook with a picture of what I'd made her. And I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, people would buy your soap. And I'm like, people would buy my soap. And so, I threw a post out there and kind of laughed. And in 2 days, I had 250 bars of soap sold. So I had to get cracking and make a lot of soap. And then on Mother's Day, they asked me to design gift boxes. And again, 40 gift boxes in 2 hours pre-sale. Same thing with Father's Day. And my husband turned to me and said, I think this really needs to be a legitimate second business for you because obviously people want what you provide. And so the whole point is clean, pure, affordable luxury. I use really, really everything in my products are organic. They're not certified organic because I don't want to go through the bunny process. I don't want to deal with the FDA, but everything I use in my products is food grade pure. And you need to nourish your skin because what you put on your skin eventually ends up inside your body. And so, I've long been passionate about organic, pure health. And so it just made sense to create product that nourishes the outside and the inside at the same time.
And I love that because I think there's a lot of products out there that say they're going to do something, but what we don't understand is that you're right. Our skin is our largest organ on our body, and it absorbs everything, and then it does end up in your bloodstream. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, normally like the butters and oils and soaps won't end up in your bloodstreams, but most of the soaps out there at big box stores have chemical surfactants in them to create a bigger lather, to make the bar super hard and last longer. And they're actually detergent. They're what you need to wash your car with, but not your body. And those are endocrine disruptors, and they're actually really dangerous to use, especially on your young children. So mine was just born out of a need, and I love chemistry and I love learning. And so I just took a really deep dive into soaping and learned a lot and then just, put feet to it.
Well, the other thing too that I would like to share with everyone is even over the time frame that we've talked in the past, it's not just these natural ingredients. I mean, you take when I said you take tedious care of everything that you put in your products. Um, Share with our listeners. I mean, I know you grow all your stuff. I mean,
Right.
and you told me you just brought what 300 plants, and I'm going to let you share that story because I'm not even going to attempt to try to explain that one.
Well, I grow all the botanicals that I infuse into my oils. And so I buy my oils and butters from really great women-run micro businesses, which is great. And I believe in supporting the women and children of the world. And that I'm very passionate about that. But I grow all the botanicals. So from seed to seal, I control the purity. So I grow all the herbs, the fruits, all of the things that I use, and I actually heat distill or cold distill into my different carrier oils for the different purposes and what types of products they are. So I don't have a laundry room, I have an apothecary. Literally, my laundry room, all my cabinets are my apothecary. And so I'm always 4 to 6 months ahead. So like right now I'm planting 300 medicinal calendula plants on my property between over this week because in springtime I'm out at 6 a.m. every morning with my gathering basket and my little scissors and I trim every perfect blossom as it's opened. And then I dry it in my commercial dehydrator at a low heat, low and slow to keep the medicinal properties within the petals. And then I use that dried product to tincture into the oil. So I'm growing in spring to tincture for winter. So I'm always 6 months ahead in my growing. So I swap out the plants in my yard like a woman swaps accessories. Right? So I'm always switching my harvests and I grow not only for my soaps and lotions, but I grow because I make medicinal tinctures for my family and friends as well. So everything in my yard has a purpose for food, medicinal, or soaping.
Now, is the timing crucial? Like I know there's certain herbs and certain things that you have to harvest it or use it because it has the most potency for that type of thing. So is it
Yeah.
kind of the same thing that you do in regards to like your plants and your herbs?
Yes. So, like calendula blooms in spring, but in Central California where I live, I need to put it in now so that it grows deep roots so that when the heat of next summer hits, I can still harvest. They won't fizzle up and die because it gets so hot here. So you just need to know the growing patterns of where you live. When I lived in Southern California, I could plant 365 days a year. It didn't matter because it was inclement weather. Here it's not. It's big swings. So I've had to learn the harvest calendar and the frost calendar, and it's been a great learning curve. But I've had to really plan much more because of the wide and varied weather swings.
Wow. I mean, I guess
Mhm.
that makes sense because each climate is going to offer something different. So you've
Yeah.
had to adjust. Now I want to backtrack a little bit because I know that you are also an advocate of helping women and children that have suffered through, it was human trafficking. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The proceeds from
And
my
I knew,
business
I'm sorry.
support that. The proceeds from this business help support that. And the direct organization is called She Is Safe. You can find it on sheissafe.org. It's a beautiful organization. And the founder was actually rescued out of trafficking. And I love that. And they rescue women and children all over the world, including right here within my own community. And so I believe in giving back. And so a portion of every sale goes to help rescue women and children. And I set a huge goal every fourth quarter, and I dedicate my fourth quarter to raising funds to do that. And so last year, my goal was to sell 500 bars of soap to help rescue 14 moms and babies. And this year, my goal is 1,000, so I can help rescue 28. And my goal by next year is to be able to help rescue 100. And then my 5 to 7 year plan is to be able to help rescue a mom and a baby every day of the year.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, your heart is so huge. I mean, I just what you do and what you offer. And like I said, when I said in the beginning, you're the real deal because I know and I've seen you do it firsthand. And I know your heart, Beth. And I mean, you are an extraordinary person. I mean, not only for the care that you put in all your products, but what you do to help others, along the way on your journey. And thank you for that. That is so, like I said, you're extraordinary. You really are. Uh, So now we're going to help you with that because I want everybody who is listening, whether you're listening to it now or you're listening into January or June or wherever you come on and listen to Coach Mickey and Friends, please know that the links will be down here into the description. If you're looking at us on YouTube and if you are listening to me on the podcast, then please make sure that you go because the links will be embedded where you see Garden Gate soap. Just click on that link and it'll take you straight to Beth's website, and you can actually get some beautiful gifts there for not only for yourself because we need self-care, right? But also for other people and your loved ones and your family and your friends. So Beth, I know you have started with the soaps. I know you've moved on to candles and some other stuff. So I want to talk about that. And you've got some little, let's see what you got. As I know,
Well,
let's see one of your soaps
you know what's
because
really
your soaps
fun
are
is
beautiful.
this is what started it all. This is the soap I designed because of my kids' allergies. And so this is really pure. It's coconut milk, coconut oil, olive oil, and pureed baby carrot. And so it's so pure you can use it on a newborn's face. And I wouldn't. Newborns really don't need soap because, they've got really great skin oils, but, some newborns are born with skin issues. And so this is so pure a newborn can use it. And it began like this beautiful sunflower because it's my daughter's favorite flower. And then men were stealing it to shave with because it's a beautiful soap, head to toe, it's beautiful. Great for people with skin issues, just super gentle. And so my friend who is a hockey ref and a hockey player came to me and he goes, my wife's getting mad because I'm stealing her sunflower to like shave with. Could you make something that looks manly? I'm like, well, define manly because I have plenty of men who come to me to buy all of the different soaps and they don't really care that it's super decorated. And he goes, well, I'm a hockey player. Could you make something that looks like a hockey puck? I'm like, sure. And he's like, you really need a man's line. I'm like, okay, right, I'm open to that. And he goes, what do you call it? And I said, well, it's a puck for hockey and you're a man. Let's call it man puck. So I took the four soaps that men were stealing from their wives the most and turned them into the Man Puck and launched my Man Puck line this last year. And it's as equally popular with men as all of my other soaps are for the women because they want to have something. And I even got to the point, this is the version that used to be the flower. This is the simple one for the men. Had fun designing my own boxes, learned how to put my QR code on. I've learned a lot in this journey. And so my Man Puck line is very popular as well, and I really, really enjoy that. And so I've had a lot of fun, and you'll notice a lot of my soaps are very decorative. It's because I'm creative, and I love doing that. It doesn't mean that they're any more special than any of the bars that aren't so decorative. It's just the creative bug hit me, and there's a story behind every soap. There's a reason I developed it or a story, and case in point is my rice milk bar. My sister used to buy a really high-end department store brand of makeup. She was a big makeup person, and she would buy their soap for $25 a bar every Christmas. She'd save up and buy 12 bars. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You don't need to pay that much for a good soap. And it was filled with chemicals. And I'm like, plus that's not good for you. So we had Japanese exchange students live with us for 7 years straight, and they always brought a little tiny white bar of soap made with rice milk, and their skin was flawless. So again, my curiosity and my research love, and I dove deep into the chemistry of rice soap. And so I designed my own rice milk soap for her. And now she buys this like 6 to 10 bars at a time, and it's the only soap she'll use. But I feel like I saved her from the chemical soap. And so, usually something will grab me. Someone will have a need, and that's where I'll research and I'll learn from. And then my soaps can also be thematic. This is my really popular nativity soap. It's called Silent Night, and it's scented with frankincense and myrrh. And I only make this one for December, and so super fun. So I rotate things, and my candles are pure. It's my own wax blend I've been doing for years. It's soy, coconut, and apricot wax, completely non-toxic, lead-free, zinc-free wick, smokeless. And so what you're left with afterwards is a beautiful dish. And I collect dishes all year just for the holidays, and I collect little mini casserole dishes. So here's an example of this year's. I've got 14 different designs this year, but again, all you'll have left over at the end is the little wick that you flick out of the bottom, and you have a beautiful oven-safe, microwave-safe baking dish that you can fill and regift, or you can come back to me and have me refill it. I have customers locally who collect the dishes that I present my candles with every year, and they come back to me and say, okay, I've got all these empty dishes. Could we pick some different scents, and you can just refill them with all different scents? And I do that too. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. I love it. And it's like a dual purpose. So it's
Yes,
not just
I'm a
candle.
twofer gal. I want a sale I want to save money and I want a twofer because I was a mom raising three kids, right? I get that. And so I love to provide that. I give gifts with every purchase because I love getting gifts. So, I always try to think of my customers as family, and I want to bless family. So I have my soaps and my candles, and I launched my day and my night serum this year, which sell out weekly. I make very small controlled batch, and that's pretty amazing. The story about that is on the site, and my bath bombs and my steamers and my bath melts, all of them are organic. It's all food grade pure and very nourishing for the skin.
So
Yeah.
I want to ask you because I've got quite a few friends that suffer from eczema, which is unfortunate.
Mhm.
So I know a lot of your because your soaps are pure. Somebody who suffers from that, have you seen? I know you can't make any kind of claims or anything, but it was people that have eczema. Have you seen that it has helped them in regards to that?
Can't say the words, but I can hold this up. It's called Pure Bastille. And I have a lot of customers with skin issues, and we don't know what triggers it with each of them. It could be gut dysbiosis. They could have some gut issues, which I specialize in also. And I deal with that as well with people. It could be contact dermatitis. It could be they're allergic to fragrances and store-bought. It could be they're actually allergic to coconut oil, right? I have coconut oil free bars for those customers who, I dig deep into their personal history and ask, and then I usually can fit something to their needs. But yes, I have a lot of customers, and a lot of them are children, because the kids will just eat the junk food. They don't think about what goes in their body, and then it manifests on the skin. And so oftentimes, if you can provide really pure, nourishing products, then when their skin improves, their choices for their food improve.
I've got a
Yeah.
girlfriend who's allergic to glycerin, and I've watched her suffer multiple times. Just everything she buys, she has to look at it to see if the
Yeah.
ingredients have got glycerin in it. And we're not aware of that. I mean, a lot of people buy stuff because they like the smell of it or because it's the hottest trend. But the reality is if you really turn things over and look at the ingredients, you'd be mortified if you knew what those real ingredients are that you're
Yes.
putting not only on your face, but also in your hair. So there's so many things that we can learn from this. And I like the fact that you have done the research and
Mhm.
taken the time to say, okay, this is why this is happening, and knowing and you're not cookie cutter. You're taking and making something that is individualized for each person's needs.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. That's one of the things I love about Garden Gate Soap is because you are just so in tune with what people need regards to what's transpiring with their skin and their body.
Well, in glycerin, interesting point. Glycerin is a really great humectant. Glycerin holds moisture in the skin. It's a natural byproduct of soap making. I do not add glycerin to my products, but glycerin is created from natural butters and oils through the saponification process, the heating process where the bar of soap is created. And that's good glycerin, right? Virtually no one is allergic to natural glycerin, or you couldn't eat any fruits and vegetables because there's natural glycerin in all the fruits and vegetables we eat. But the man-made glycerin that people add, like commercial soap companies add, they've chemically extracted it from the vegetables. They've processed it, bleached it, run it through chemical processes to pull out the good stuff to use in really high-end products. And then it's the cruddy leftover junk that they put back into the big box shelf products. And so oftentimes people are buying something they think is organic, but it says glycerin on the back. And the glycerin that's being used is I would I wouldn't use it on anything. And so that's what they're reacting to because they're not getting the really good quality what nature made on its own. And so removing glycerin from products to add it back in chemicalized is heinous to me. It just makes me angry every time. So that probably is what your friend is reacting to.
Yeah, and that's probably what it is. I mean, she's had that one, and again, like you said, there's different grades of different stuff, which leads me to back to the candles, because this is something that I wanted to share. And I just had this conversation with a friend who was buying candles, and I said, and she's got asthma. And I said, you might want to be aware of the candles that you're buying because most candles, unless they say soy or beeswax or other wax, majority of them are I want to say
Paraffin.
petroleum.
They're paraffin, petroleum
Paraffin,
based.
thank you. Paraffin candles. And this is why when you burn a candle, a lot of times you'll see that black smoke come off the wick, or if you have a candle up against the wall or underneath something, you'll see like this black soot. Well, that stuff is being thrown into the air, and that's why a lot of people that have asthma can't burn candles. Whereas, and correct me if I'm wrong, Beth, because you're the expert at this, the soy and the other burns clean, so you don't get that type of stuff. And isn't the paraffin like the sludge in the bottom of like oil barrels? I mean, it's
Yes.
crap, isn't
Yes,
it?
there's food grade paraffin that is used to like top off jelly jars, and that's a safe one. And sometimes natural candle makers will use a tiny, tiny bit of paraffin to stabilize something they're doing, and that's okay. But if it's a solid paraffin cheap candle, you're actually breathing in carcinogenic char that comes off those wicks. And most of the time, the wicks that are used with those have lead and zinc in them, which create a brighter flame, but then you're breathing in heavy metals. So my wicks are lead-free, zinc-free, cotton. They're woven strand cotton. And I use the wax that are natural vegetable oil based so that it burns clean. Because my kids, I could not go to any big box store when my kids were little and buy all those lovely, I won't say the names, the like the candle and body works stuff you could go into the mall and buy 8 for $10, right? Everybody loved those. I could not have those in my household because my kids would stop breathing with their asthma. So I had to learn really pure products because why would I do that to my children's lungs? And so then I fell in love with it because I knew I could have the candle experience. And then I dug into learning phthalate free, paraben free, using vegetable and plant-based oils for scent instead of the chemical-based scents. And it just made sense. So most people, when they come into my home, love the smell of my home. I don't always have a candle burning because I make a lot of product in my home studio and the house naturally smells like my products. But when I do burn candles, oftentimes I've had people say, I feel better when I leave your house. Like I have more clarity. I said, that's because that candle had peppermint essential oil in it, and peppermint helps the brain. So, they're like, oh, never even thought of that. I go, well, it's a conscious choice what you're going to breathe in, just like what you're going to put in your mouth when you eat. So I tell people just, make sure you're buying good. I mean, I'm not the only person who makes great product, but I'll stand by what I make for sure.
Well, and I think there's also something to be said that you're making products that really should be the norm. You would think that if we know for a fact that if something's going to burn and has lead in it or zinc, or if you're breathing in a carcinogenic, just because you want to pay a little bit less or you're paying less and you're going to get what you get. But the reality is it's your body and everything affects it. And you have done the research the unfortunate thing is that your children have suffered from what they've suffered and it's led you to bring to where you are. However, being able to educate people that maybe don't even have some of these issues, but to be aware that you should treat yourself and have something that's better. But what I was going to say is that you have taken something that is so personal because our candles are, the scented candles, our skincare, things that we use that bring us a little bit of joy, and you've made it even better because it's something not only can we enjoy it because of we want to, but also it is good for us. It's good for our body, it's good for our lungs, it's good for our skin, and that is one of the things I love about Garden Gate soap because you give everybody a little bit more than just what we originally think we're going to get based on fragrance and scent.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
So, Beth, I'm going to give you the last 2 minutes to wrap up whatever you want to say. And before we do, I want everybody to know, please, 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 I highly recommend you visit her website, gardengatesoaps.com. And again, if you are here watching us on YouTube and laughing, all of the links will be down here so you can reach out to Beth directly. And if you are suffering from things, I'm sure she can tailor that to your needs. Like you said, some people are allergic to certain stuff, and I know you've gone above and beyond for that. I know you've got a great special that's happening right now for people. These are great gifts any time of the year. And also, if you're listening to the podcast, please visit the link and click on that. That'll take you right to the website.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate you having me on, Mickey, and I just love and adore what you do. And so, it's just great to be able to hang out with someone you adore so much and share what they have. And so thank you for that. So my website again is gardengatesoap.com, and you can find me on Instagram as well, although it's Garden Gate Soaps on Instagram. And I love a follow. I take people into my garden every week and show them what I do so they get to actually see me harvest and produce the product from seed to seal, which is super fun. And I love teaching. So oftentimes I'll have a teaching moment on Instagram where I'll teach them the importance of why I'm using that ingredient in whatever product I'm making at the moment, which is super fun because I firmly feel that knowledge is power. And when people just have that little bit of knowledge, it can flip the switch on, oh, now I understand what to look for in a good product. And it can change a home. Honestly, if you change a mom's heart, you change the whole family's heart. So if a mom can walk away understanding, I just need really clean, good soap to put on my family's skin, which will then affect their health, then it affects every other member of the house. And then it just spreads outward like a ripple. So I just do my small part, but I believe it should be affordable. There shouldn't be anybody who cannot afford to be healthy with the products they use, which is why my price point is no different than standard soaps that are good quality. I refuse to, I'm a very niche product and I put a lot of hours into it, but I believe it should be affordable because I was that stay-at-home mom raising 3 kids who were sick all the time. And so that's really my heart and soul speaks back into that. And so I love that. And, I always give gifts. So, you can see it when you go to my website, there's a pop-up window that shows you what you earn for free when you purchase. And you can go there and check it out. And if anybody has any questions, my contact information is right at the base. You can sign up to be on my email list if you'd like. I don't send a lot of them. I'm not very technical, very creative, but not very technical. So I really only send out a launch email each season, so 4 times a year. But in between, people call me and I do private consultations via Zoom or on the phone to help them figure out really what would be best for them and their family. And I love to do that. I never charge for that. That's just speaking into others, and I love to do that. So that's me.
I love it. I love it. Please reach out to Beth. You guys will love her products just as much as I do. Again, I've given them out as gifts, and I'm glad that you were here with us and could tell your story. And please visit her on her Instagram because it's fun. It's really fun to see what she's doing and how she dries her plants and kind of give you a sneak peek of how much care that she takes into each and every one of her products. So thank you, Beth, for being with us. I'm so excited that you are doing what you're doing. I'm glad that you were with us today and could share your insight and your information. And I definitely want to have you back again.
Thank you. Well, remember, life is short. Use the pretty soap.
Exactly.
That's on every one of my shopping bags. Life is short. Use the pretty soap.
I love it. I love it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being with us. Again, please reach out to Beth. And again, I love your comments, your questions, and your suggestions for people to be on my podcast. And remember, the most courageous thing you can do is be yourself. Until next time, I will look forward to seeing you. I'll see you.
This episode was brought to you by KeepOnSharing.com. They're calling themselves the first truly ethical social network. They'll share back 50% of their revenue with their users, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's free to register, and they never sell your information. You can list your products, events, and content for free. Adult content accounts, be gone. They're fun, positive, and encouraging sites supporting local business. In a day and age where social media sites, even well-established ones, are being brought to light left and right for their questionable and sometimes downright archaic business practices, KeepOnSharing.com is a well-needed breath of fresh air. While you can share personal content, news articles, or just about anything for fun and profit, the marketplace allows practically anyone to sell anything at any time from anywhere. But on this site, you are the boss. I cannot express how amazing it is that KeepOnSharing.com shares 50% of all revenue back with the users on top of having a truly transparent, supportive, and clean business model. Check them out. I'm signing up. Will you? Go ahead and meet me on there. Just go to KeepOnSharing.com. A link will be provided in this episode's description.